Hey everyone, Irit here with a new process video for HipKit Club on the HipKit Club YouTube channel, of course. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell because this place is really great for inspiration on using your kits or just scrapbooking in general. And I am focusing today on the cut files. So there are tons and tons of cut files for October. I am using the subscriber cut files, but every month there are free cut files on the HipKit Club website. If you just create an account there, you don't have to subscribe, but you will get access to those. So I highly recommend it. So what I did here, I used one of the pattern papers. That one is from Vicky Boutin. It came, of course, in the October kits. And I actually welded on the Silhouette software two cut files. So one is the Autumn Vibes, and then the other one is that heart-shaped wreath. And I just, sized it accordingly and then welded the shapes so they would cut together. And I usually cut my cut files with white cardstock and then I will alter the color, but I really liked these kind of warm reddish pinkish oranges here, so I decided to cut it from pattern paper. Now that still doesn't mean that you can't customize it. You can add some gesso or you can just add some mists. What I had, an idea that I had that I didn't execute in this layout, was to really add like a lot of gold splatters, and I do add a little bit at the end, but I think with this one you can put it on just a piece of scrap paper and then go really heavy-handed with the gold spray, something like the shimmer sprays or Heidi Swap Gold Shine. I think that would look amazing. You can also take something like a gold pen and add some details, especially to those leaves. There are some leaves that are just cut on the outside, and I think that would be really, really pretty. I'm going to go a little bit heavier here on the embellishment just because there are so many pretty embellishments in the kit, and I feel like the cut file is already quite intricate and detailed. And I also decided to use my background, to use pattern paper for my background, which is also something that I don't often do. I usually go with white cardstock, but this particular paper is just, it has a lot of white, but it still has those colorful stripes. Stripes is the word I'm looking for. So I thought it would be a good choice, and I can use embellishments also to bring out those colorful stripes. So I'm using here this beautiful circular die cut from the Vicky Boutin ephemera pack, and it has this beautiful quote. It says, "Blessed are the curious, for they shall have adventures." And I thought that was really, really pretty. And I'm using two photos that I took of my husband and my girls when we were taking a stroll. Now the photos look very idyllic and picturesque, I would say, but the reality is that pretty much everyone was cranky, and I was trying to keep it together, really enjoying. The place was beautiful. It's just like a very easy to walk trail next to a river, and all the leaves are like changing colors. It's a really beautiful time now. I mean, now we're kind of at the end of fall, but the last month has been so gorgeous with such beautiful fall colors everywhere. It's my favorite season of the year. And yeah, I decided that we were going to take a stroll. And, with cranky kids, I can deal. But then when it gets to my husband and I'm the only one left standing who is still not cranky, then I was like, okay, let's just go home. This is not worth it. But I did manage to take a few very nice pictures before things got a bit too annoying, and that's what you see here. And I will add a little bit of that, of the truth in my journaling. So yeah, so I'm using here a combination, like 2 photos. One I'm just going to keep in its original shape. And then the other one is in this circular shape. And I really like this combination. It's really interesting and fun, something different. I thought about also using a frame for my other photo, but it didn't work. Like it looked a bit too much. So this combo was just perfect for me. And I'm also layering that little die cut behind my photo. And now I'm going just to add embellishments. So this is my first layout using the October kits, and I'm really getting familiarized with all the goodies. And one way to approach a new kit is to kind of limit your choices. So you can go for using one collection, and I kind of started with that. You know, I started with a Vicky Boutin paper, and then I went with the Vicky Boutin ephemera. But there is like a lot of really gorgeous stuff from Paige Evans from her new whimsical collection, which is just beautiful. And of course, that I knew that the whole pack of floral pieces, I had to use it. So, you know, you get a huge pack of these. There are like, I don't know, 50 pieces there. How do you narrow it down? Color. That's my go-to. And since I already had oranges here, I stayed with kind of the pinks and the yellows, the colors that are close to orange on the color wheel, and just focused on that. And you can always come back and add more colors if you feel like it. If there are embellishments that, you know, really speak to you and you want to use them, that's fine too. But this is like a really just an easy way to get going, to narrow down your choices and just, you know, keep the flow and not like spend a lot of time going through everything. So that's what works for me. And I also added this word hello from the word thicker pack that we got. And then that same pack has words, and it also has lots of little embellishments. So I grabbed a couple of hearts and I added them to my photo. And now I'm just adding this cute little border sticker to add a little bit detail around my photo. I want this layout has a lot going on, and while I definitely think that everything is beautiful, that cut file is beautiful, I still want the viewer to go to the photos when they see this, and then they can enjoy the other details. But the focal point is always the photos, at least for me. Now, there's no right or wrong. I'm just saying how I like it. And that's why I add the most detail around my focal point. So that's where I'm going to keep things layered, add more colors, more embellishments, everything to draw your eye to where I want it to go, which is the photo. So I'm writing my journaling on this journaling spot. This is also from the Vicky Boutin pack. I really love it when they have these. It just makes adding journaling really easy because you don't have to figure out a place on your background, and it kind of looks almost like a bit of an embellishment. And now I'm covering that area between the photos and that journaling spot. It just had a lot of edges, and it's a little bit distracting and not in a good way. Your eye goes there, and I don't want it to. So that's why I added that floral piece. And now I'm just starting to build the embellishments here, and these flowers are just so pretty. So these are, as I said, from the Whimsical collection. And I'm going to just fold, like bend the petals a little bit so that it gives it a bit more dimension. And I'm going to add my adhesive just to the center of the flower. So that part is stuck down, and then the petals of the flowers can kind of float around. That adds so much. It's just, for me, it makes a huge difference. So I make a point out of doing that. And I just added a few more bits and pieces. I had to use these thread bows that came in the September kits. These are by Maggie Holmes, if I'm not mistaken. And they just worked so perfectly. So you should really, you know, carry on things from the previous kit and use them in your other kits, you will find that even if it's not from the same collections, a lot of the things will work well also with your new kit. So keep an eye on, especially the pieces that you love the most and maybe you didn't get a chance to use in last month's kit. For me, it's definitely these thread ribbons. I just love the texture. And now I'm just really adding the finishing touches, and I'm going to add a few of the puffy stickers. I love them, trying not to hoard them. So I kept only to the yellow pinkish ones, and that again kind of narrowed down my choices. And yeah, I added a few more leaves and a couple more flowers. I did that off camera, but nothing too nothing too complicated, just that. And now I'm going in with the Heidi Swap Color Shine. As I said, you could go a bit heavier on the cut file itself before you add it to the background. I think that would look beautiful. So here's my finished layout. I really enjoyed making this. It was so much fun. And the cut file kind of does the design work for you, and you just have to add a little bit to enhance it. So I hope you feel inspired, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.